What is going on, everybody? You already know what it is. Your boy J Stash back at it again, live from Fan Expo Dallas, and I am sitting next to, I can't even believe I'm sitting here with Gabriel Luna.
Come on, Jay.
My man himself, Mr. Robbie Reyes, as you know him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, more recently as Tommy in The Last of Us. What's up, sir? How you feeling today?
Rev 9 Terminator as well.
Rev 9 Terminator, and of course, in the new Fubar movie?
Yeah,
with
Fubar
Arnold.
just came out. Yeah,
on
Fubar
Netflix.
just came out 2 weeks ago.
That's what's up.
Everybody go watch my boy Arnold and I doing battle once again.
You played the villain
good to
in
see
that
you,
one.
Jay. How you doing, man?
No, it's good, man. To be
do?
honest with you,
Yeah.
it's been a long one today.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the AC not working in here.
Hey, it's 98 degrees already.
You from
and it's
Texas,
June.
though.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
used
from
to
here.
this.
I'm wearing a leather jacket.
I was going to say, yesterday you had on the champ Dallas Cowboys
I did.
starter. Today
yeah.
you got the full leather jacket on,
Yeah,
man. But
man.
for everybody tuning in with us, Gabriel's going to be sitting down. We're going to be doing some signatures. We've got a lot of items going up in the auction. He's going to bless us with his time. We're going to talk a little bit about a couple of different projects he may be involved in, have been involved in. But the most important part is that you are here joining us virtually when you can't make it to the con. Whatnot is bringing the convention to you. And Gabriel Luna. Is it Gabriel or Gabriel? Can I say Gabriel?
Gabriel's
Gabriel.
perfect, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so it's funny. You're going to have me signing on video because apparently I have the same determination face.
Yeah.
That, when I'm playing guitar and a tasty lick, or when I'm signing autographs, or when I'm throwing a football, apparently I have the same face. You'll probably notice it as we're signing here.
We'll have all the playback right now, right here on the app. Now, we sat down and you told me that this was your first time doing. It's not your first time doing any live streaming, is it?
I mean,
like in this style, I guess it could be.
In this style, probably so. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, well, we just did a live. Arnold did live commentary on the first episode of Fubar last week. I was in England, and I was in a park in England, and
casually.
Yeah, just casually walking around in the park, and he asked me to come on as on Instagram Live, I guess it was.
Okay.
And I've done Instagram Live a few times, just like playing my music.
Of course. Heavy into music? You a big musician?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're born in Austin, Texas, they put a football and a guitar in your hand when you're born,
and there's no choice there. You're playing with both, right?
And then you just got to do what you can, try to make good on it. I love this cover. This is Felipe Smith.
Yes.
4 on the Floor. Actually, this is great because this is a Spider-Man homage.
You know how many celebrities I get up here that don't know the comics I put in front of them?
This is, but this one is probably my favorite. Felipe drew this, and this just shows the Omega level hero that the Ghost Rider is.
It really does, though.
The Hulk has punched him in the head, and he's immovable.
I can't even tell you how excited I was to find these copies today. I scoured the floor. Because, you know, my man Gabriel comes up to me yesterday. He's like, yo, when we doing this? Yeah. And I'm like, naturally not saying no to anybody, be like, whenever, you know?
Until I came up this morning, he's like, let's go right now. He's like, wait, no, we gotta schedule it. But here we are.
Now we got it done. And I know that you know, so you talk about your roots in Austin and everything. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey into the acting industry? What inspired you to pursue it?
Oh, wow. So that's kind of a long story. I've told it in several interviews before, but I guess we ain't going anywhere.
No, we're here. Me and you.
I was a ball player. You know, I was a very strong student.
Yeah.
School was everything to me. My mother was a 15-year-old widow when she had me. My father passed before I was born. So school was paramount. It was #1 focus. And then, of course, I was a very, very strong athlete. I played, was a three-letter football star.
Okay.
And played basketball and ran track. But in my senior year, I dislocated my shoulder and I lost all my football scholarships. I had a couple scholarships lined up that all of a sudden evaporated.
Right.
And fortunately at the time I was in a technical theater class swinging a hammer to get my fine arts credit, building the sets for the theater department. And we were reading a play to study how the story informs us as to what we're going to build.
Right.
And so we were reading a play and the teacher had me read a certain part. And he thought I did really well. He's like, man, you should try out for the play. And I was like, nah, I can't do that, man. I got to go to football practice.
Right.
He's like, well, you're hurt. I was like, well, I still go to keep the guys in line because I was captain of the team.
Okay.
And that was true. It was half true. I mean, I always went to practice even though I was hurt, but I didn't have to. It wasn't by any means required. Yeah. But I was scared.
That's the character in you, though.
Yeah,
well, you show up, get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be there for your guys. But really, I was just terrified of the idea of being on stage. And I told him no. And then, but as fate would have it, my grandmother, my father's mother, Grandma Vera, she she called me. It was like the same night. It was either the same night or the following night, but she's like, I have some items I found of your father's that I found in the attic, and I want you to have them.
Yeah.
So I was super excited because anytime there was any information about my father, I was always, jumping at the opportunity to discover what it was and learn more about him.
Right.
And in turn, learn more about myself.
Yeah. Looking for that connection, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. The connection we didn't have, and I just. I went and she gave me the box, and it's a box with all these trophies he had won, kind of peeking over the top, all these yearbooks from middle school and high school, which were invaluable to me because up until that point in my life, my father had been described as this perfect angel. And when you read the back of the yearbook, you can see that he was just a young person with friends who said bad words and girls that liked him and all kinds of different things. So you got to see him through the eyes of his peers by, thank you for this, thank you for that, have a great summer, see you next year kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the yearbooks are extremely valuable. And then at the bottom of the box is a VHS tape, and I put the VHS tape in the VCR, and on this tape is my father in a play that he wrote, starred, and directed for our church for Easter. And this would have been 8 months before my birth. My mother is in the background. She plays a non-speaking role. She's an angel in the background. Mm-hmm. She's a month pregnant with me. Who knows if she knows or not?
Right.
And it's my father. First time I've ever seen him alive. First time I've ever heard his speaking voice.
On this VHS that you found?
On this VHS.
Wow.
Yeah. First time I've ever seen him walking, moving. I had one thing of his. It was his singing voice, a song that he sung. A song that this was actually the performance from which that tape was taken.
Yeah.
So my whole life I had this one cassette, but now I had the video from that performance.
Wow.
And I saw him alive for the first time. And after I got over my emotions, I was crying my eyes out.
Right, of course, naturally. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I just thought, I said, man, I gotta go tell Mr. Sharp I'm gonna do this theater thing because this can't be a coincidence.
It was a change in you like that?
Immediately, I was unafraid. I mean, all of a sudden, I felt the confidence to go and try out. So I went, told Mr. Sharp.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm excited. I'll see you after school. I was all great. I went to tell my football coach, Coach Pantalone.
Yeah.
Shout out Coach Pantalone.
Shout out, Coach.
He's like, what's wrong, man? You need to go to get treatment in the trainer's office. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go try out for this play.
Man.
And he just looked at me like.
I applaud you though, because the level of vulnerability in that moment. Yeah. You know, you're the captain of the football team. You're talking about stepping away to go join the theater.
He looks at me. He's like, all right, Luna, and he just like walks down the hall. So I go to the theater department. Told you it's a long story.
Now, listen, I'm here for it.
I go to the theater department.
Yeah.
I wear my Letterman's jacket, and I'm in a room of theater kids, and they struck me as more adult than other kids in school. Just more adult in the sense that they understood who they were. They weren't afraid to be who they were.
Right.
And and he hands me the sides, and the scene is from a play called 1918 by Horton Foote.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there reading them, and it's the main character standing next to this old woman, asking her which of these graves that he's standing in front of belongs to his father. And I remember in my mind, and to this day, it's the greatest lesson I've ever learned about acting.
Listen up now.
Is live a full life, and run towards the things you're afraid of, and so when you get there on the day, you don't have to fake it. You know what? Because I remember in my mind, I was like, I know what this feels like. I've done this before. I've stood in front of my father's grave hundreds of times. I know exactly what this feels like.
Yep.
And in that moment, I had no fear. Just went in. It was like breathing, very natural.
Yeah.
Got the part. Woman saw it. Gave me a $75,000 scholarship to go to St. Edward's University, and the rest is
the rest is where it's at.
Yeah, that was 22 years ago.
Absolutely
so
amazing.
Still doing it.
Now, I mean, listen, the emotion and the passion that I hear in that come up story is something that clearly resonates with you, and it sounds like it's something that you bring with you every time that you go get an audition or you go to, even review some lines, man. So,
yeah, man. I come from working class people. My daddy before he died, was working graveyard shift in Motorola, and my mom, and once again, working for the state for as long as she was old enough to work. She was 15 when she had me. My grandma worked at a laundromat. Grandpa worked laying tile on his hands and knees for 50 years. So it's like when I do this job, man, I got to do it like a ditch digger,
I hear that. No, listen, similar backgrounds. I could totally relate to the experience now. And I mean, look at you now.
Yeah. Look, so you're from the Boogie Down Bronx,
the BX, baby. You know what's up.
Oh, already.
It ain't Austin. I'm sure Austin's got its own stories, but the Bronx,
yeah.
Bronx for now.
We didn't create hip hop. So
I mean, listen, or the Yankees, but one of those two things.
Hey, our Rangers are doing. I'm a Rangers fan, so we're doing good this year.
Really? Yeah. You're a Rangers fan from Austin, Texas. I never thought I'd hear the day.
Yeah, well, is everybody? We don't have any teams, man. Our professional football team is the Texas Longhorns.
Okay, I love that.
That's our only professional team.
That's what I'm saying. So who's your true professional team in the NFL then?
Oh, this is another great cover.
Oh yeah, yo, I'm telling you, I found some gems today.
Legend of Hill Rock Heights.
I
Robbie
found
Reyes.
some gems today, you see? My man knows the covers, by the way. Have you been hearing this?
Oh, man, it's just, I mean, all the work on the original run was done by Trad Moore, who's an absolute legend. And I love his art. No one does movement and kineticism on the page like Trad. I mean, he has a very unique way of drawing. And this is badass. This is Damien. Like, he's got that, like, you know, kind of graffiti style, wild style kind of way of doing things.
You a comic book fan? Are you a collector?
Yeah, of course, man.
I mean, I'm starting to pick that up from you.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we did. For those of you who don't know,
Pays my bills.
we met this morning. You know, or yesterday. We met yesterday. Trying to get it all. I'm trying to understand and learn a little bit more about this guy who, first off, in the most humble way he could, walked by, stopped, turned around, shook my hand, introduced himself to me. That right there speaks a level of character, right, that you don't see very often. So it's really great to sit with a guest who admires the covers as much. I'm a comic book collector myself, so I'm really happy. And I mean, looking at the covers, what was the experience like playing
another
Robbie?
another Damien cover.
This one is the only one I could find of that one. That was a badass one right there.
Yeah.
Robbie Reyes, man. What was the feeling like? You got that call. You got to portray this character to the audience, and
I was, they had been reaching out to my agents about a guest starring role on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, and I was reluctant to do it because I didn't want to be a character that gets, an agent that gets killed off, or I didn't know what the character was. I thought it was just kind of be like a one-off, and I was like, well, I want to hold out for maybe there's something bigger.
Yeah.
And then they started to wrap buses at San Diego Comic-Con with flaming chains that year, and people got tipped off to what the character was going to be.
Oh, wow.
And I was in Marfa, Texas at a film festival. I had a film called Transpecos, which won the Audience Award at South by Southwest 2015. Great film. Cool. Me, Clifton Collins Jr., Johnny Simmons, great movie. And I'm there with the film for the festival, and I rented this house in Marfa, and I get the call. They're like, they want to meet with you, they want to talk to you. You really need to take this meeting. Go online and look up Ghost Rider. I was like, Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider. I was like, how am I going to play the Ghost Rider?
Right. Why would I even look it up?
Unfortunately, man, we're in our minds, we're trained that way. It's like, oh, well, that's a Caucasian character. It's like, why would I, But I was excited because I did a show called Harley and the Davidsons. I thought maybe they saw me riding motorcycles down. They're like, oh, he'd be good in that.
Right.
But no, it wasn't motorcycles.
It was not.
It was the 1969 Charger. It was Robbie Reyes, created by Felipe Smith. He's a great dear. He's a brother. He's my brother. And he just. And when I researched it, Robbie, he's an orphan. He takes care of his little brother. I got a little brother. You know, I'm not an orphan, but my mother is 15 years old when she had me. My father was passed away, so it's like, might as well be. She's more of a sibling now than anything. We're only 15 years apart. Right. She's 55. I'm 40. And so it's just, I read the character and I fell in love with him immediately. I just love how, how much, regardless of the pain he endures, he steps up to his responsibilities, and he's the man of the house, and he takes care of his brother, and I just loved everything about it. I was like, oh my God, there's a Ghost Rider who's a Mexican American dude from East LA, and he looks like me, and he talks, and he behaves the way I do, and once again, it was like breathing. It was something,
something
all the
natural
characters
at that point.
Right, all the best characters I've played. And Tommy Miller's the very same way in The Last of Us. It's just facets of myself. It's like a hand in a glove.
I love hearing that,
and I loved it. I mean, I absolutely loved it, and so I.
When you developed the identity, did it make it easier though? Like, because you saw so many parts of yourself in the character?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the physicality of it, being a football player and all that stuff helps. But it was just, I really, we took the meeting. I sent him a tape. I had to record. I went and stayed at this hotel the next night because I didn't. That house that I was renting from Airbnb, it was up. So I had to go to the Thunderbird Hotel. They were having a rave, and I had to do this tape. So in the behind in the background of my tape that I sent over to Jeff,
massive rave.
It's just so I'm doing I think Robbie listens to music like that too. So maybe it added a little tissue to it.
I don't know if Robbie.
Robbie's hip hop. Robbie's like electronic,
right?
Like trap step or something like that. He's into that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But hip hop for sure.
For sure.
And then Rage Against the Machine.
Okay. Five Finger Death Fool,
well, yeah, he listens to pop, like I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider.
You don't want up with me.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I have a whole playlist. You go to Spotify and look at my Ghost Rider.
I'm definitely going to. You got the Ghost Rider playlist on Spotify?
Yeah.
So let's write that down.
So anyway, we're
gonna need that one.
Between the time that I took that meeting, on a literally one road town with literal tumbleweeds going down the street. To the time that I was doing my first scene was a matter of 7 days.
Okay.
So I went back to LA.
Took
another meeting. Did a screen test. They loved it. And yeah, it was a week's time from that moment at the festival to the time I was shooting was seven days.
The moment you put on that leather jacket and you sit in front of the 69, you know, you just was that the realest moment for you? Is that when the character came alive for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, man. Like the moment you put on the jacket.
Yeah, the jacket's like this responsibility.
With the classic horseshoe design, which is beautiful touch by Felipe. It was, I mean, it's like the character just clicked into your own spine. You know what I mean? And costume is huge. So if there's not a little drawing of the Ghost Rider,
wow,
it ain't the real one.
It ain't the real thing. It ain't the one. It ain't the one. Now let me ask you. You've seen obviously the comic book version of Robbie Reyes has been displayed. We've seen Nicolas Cage take his attempt at Ghost Rider as well. Where does your interpretation of Ghost Rider fall, and is it the one that should be represented in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, you know, the way I figure
the real, real answer here.
We were, you know, Robbie is what the kids know. I mean, comics is for kids, right?
It is. It is.
And sure, us old guys love Johnny Blaze, and we love Danny Ketch. I mean, Danny was probably my first Ghost Rider, the first image with the spike jacket and everything else. But, you know, comics are for young people, and right now the young people recognize Robbie Reyes as the Ghost Rider.
For sure.
So, you know, whether it's me or someone else, I really like them to be Robbie, because he deserves it, and we deserve him to be placed in the forefront because he's such a great character.
Amazing character, yeah.
So I would of course love to return to the role. I'm kind of busy right now, but
kind of.
I love him. I love him with all my heart. It's one of the highlights of my career, and
I love that too. And I love seeing that the passion that you have as a Latino actor and breaking into the Marvel universe. I sat down with Xolo Maridueña recently. I don't know if you know Xolo.
Absolutely.
Who is going to play Jaime Reyes in the new Blue Beetle. Another amazing feat for Latinos.
His manager, Brandon's a buddy of mine. And
oh, really?
Very proud of Xolo. He's great, man.
Yeah.
He's just, and he looks great in that Beetle costume. He's going to do a phenomenal job. That movie's going to be excellent.
It is.
My buddy directed that.
Okay. Now, in Terminator Dark Fate, that marked your portrayal of an iconic character of the Rev 9. What was the most challenging aspect of playing a villainous role in a renowned franchise that's got the villains that everybody knows already?
Oh, you talking about the Terminator?
Yeah, Terminator.
Oh, yeah, man.
I switched it up on you because you're not a one-trick pony, my man.
No,
people know you
Terminator
for many.
Excuse my language. Yeah,
now you good.
Terminator was, I mean, you know, I think it was one of those. There's not many of those big, you know, legacy franchise $200 million pictures being made. Yeah. You know, when Jim Cameron reacquired the property and he brought Arnold and Linda Hamilton back, and they cast me as the antagonist to you know, one of the greatest, the greatest action hero of all time. Yes. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody go watch Fubar is out right now. Arnold and I are on that. And Arnold's documentary just came out on Netflix.
Arnold just took over Netflix pretty much, right? They had action
movies
over there
he's
and everything.
Chief action officer.
How did that relationship come about with you two? Well, was it on the set of Terminator, or did you know him before that?
No, I met him. He came to Budapest. I mean, we wrapped up all the work that we did in Madrid. Yeah. And then we went to Budapest, and then he came in for a hair and makeup test. And while I was working, and I went and got cleaned up. Yeah. After work, and I went into they wanted to introduce us, so that I went into the hair trailer to meet him. And he was in there talking to Susanna, one of our makeup artists. Yeah. And her father did his makeup on Conan, because we were in. Oh, damn, actually, we were still in Almeria. We were down in Almeria, so he actually got there to Spain before we left to Budapest. And in the last week we were in Almeria, they shot all the Sergio Leone pictures. Spaghetti westerns were shot down there. Yeah. The first Conan the Barbarian was shot down there. Yeah. And Susanna's dad was Arnold's makeup artist on Conan. So Arnold has been employing generations of Spanish makeup artists. Right. And so Susanna was there just, you know, gushing, just showing him the pictures. And I gave her all the time, and I didn't want to interrupt them. And then as soon as they were done, he leans back and he sees me. And I have my shirt off because I'm so proud. I've been busting my tail trying to get in shape, dude. I mean, I was 175 pounds when I started. Right, now you're in front of Arnold, too, I was 195 pounds of just a unit, man. I'm so proud. And he looks at me, first words out of his mouth, "Look at you. You're ripped. Look at this guy. You look fantastic." And I was like, "Thank you, sir." You know, I gave him a hug and just introduced him. He was just he's that way. He's always that way. Super encouraging. Yeah. always lifting people up. He wants you to rise to his level, man.
Right.
He wants you to win.
True leadership.
And absolutely.
True leadership,
and,
for sure.
So
that's amazing, man. I mean, you have such
yeah, and that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, man.
I was gonna say.
We trained together. So I'm always there at his house for his birthdays, Christmas, fundraisers, whatever we're doing. We do a lot of work with the Hollenbeck Center in East LA.
Yeah.
Handing out turkeys and presents.
That's definitely a side of you that I want to bring out a little bit more. You know, what's your off the screen? You know, what kind of charities or initiatives are you getting involved in?
Well, I work with the After School All Stars. You
Yeah.
know, Arnold kind of grandfathered me into that organization. Adaptive athletes. I like to do a lot of work with adaptive athletes. So it's
keeping busy as much as you can. Yeah.
Angel City Games, all that stuff.
Let's go.
I think it's in. I'm doing something with the Secretary of Education, Secretary Cardona, Joe Biden's Secretary of Education, of course.
Yeah.
And we're doing some more stuff for after-school programs. So that's really important to me, you know, because
that's amazing. Yeah.
I taught spoken word in an after-school program.
Okay.
In Austin, Texas, called Theater Action Project. And so that's really important to me. Yeah, there's me and the big guy. This was the cover of Men's Health magazine.
Speaking of, just you and him, you and Arnold. That's crazy. So the world has really opened up because of the skills that you've portrayed on screen, and I know you've had a ton of success. Obviously, this year I was a big fan of The Last of Us, and you know, working with such a star-studded cast and being on there. Did you ever feel like you're continuing to learn every day from co-stars like Pedro Pascal?
Oh yeah. No, Pedro is he's just beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Very artistic. I looked up, you know, his Mayan Nahual, which is there are certain. It's kind of like the astrology for the Mayans, but it's really about you have different Nahual that rule over your life in 3 different stages of your life.
Okay.
And his is the wind, which is perfect. I mean, he's exactly that. He's exactly that.
Right.
He's an artist in every sense, and
in the sense where he kind of
very
just goes,
playful and very just kind of like, you know,
fluid.
he's hard to contain. He's got a lot of energy and he's hard to kind of nail down.
Yeah.
You know, he's a very playful guy, and you need to be playful.
Yeah.
And not only just not just scenes where everything's happy-go-lucky and everything's good, but also in really deep, dark scenes, dramatic scenes. You still have to bring the energy of play to that.
Right.
You can't just be so inward and closed off that you're not able to respond naturally and truthfully. And he's a beautiful example of that. He's just
that's wonderful, man.
A really excellent actor.
And you guys definitely seem like you had great rapport on camera.
He lived in San Antonio.
Yeah.
He lived in San Antonio for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is my Tony Bravo.
The roles, man. Roll after roll.
I did Tony Bravo for Robert Rodriguez for El Rey Network. And as you can see, I don't have chest hair because I got a lot of native blood.
Right.
Lipan Apache. And usually I can grow like 3 or 4 now.
Yeah.
But they always go away because sound department always tapes my lavalier right to the chest hairs and rips them joints off. So I always have to tease my sound.
Pain is beauty, baby.
Don't strip my manhood or straight off my chest. So.
Right. I mean, Gabriel's been sitting with us here, so gracious with his time. The man's had a busy day. He's had long lines, been at the convention trail, and had the opportunity to talk with everybody here in person. And now you've got a room full of people who couldn't make it to the con that are tuning in with us virtually. What do you have to say to the people that love you, love Ghost Rider, and want to see Ghost Rider continue out?
Well, I love you too. I truly do. Love you with all my heart. And I just, as far as the Ghost Rider goes, not my department.
Right. Not your department,
but if it ever came around, I love that character, and I'm very protective of it. And but I definitely understand that whatever it takes, if I'm too busy to do it, by no means should you not do it.
Yeah.
You should find Jolo's a great guy.
Happy Wild.
We'll find him. We'll find the kid that'll take the mantle, because Robbie deserves it.
Some big shoes to fill, that's for sure. And I mean,
I appreciate that, Jay.
Before we start getting ready to head out, I mean, any Last of Us Season 2 news, anything we can get here? People love you as Tommy, man.
The whole entertainment industry is kind of up in the air right now. We got some business to take care of with the studios. But,
that's right.
Once we get what we need, and by we I mean the writers, I mean all the creatives.
Yep.
everybody up and down the call sheet. There's a lot of people do a lot of work.
A lot of behind the scenes. Yep.
Makes a lot of money for these studios, and we just want to make sure that people can go home, feed their kids. So it's just
exactly.
It's not just about the people at the top of the list there, top of the call sheet. You got background actors, you got people who are doing day player stuff. You got a lot of people who are represented under SAG. So
right.
We need to take care of these people. Everybody needs to get taken care of, and once we get that sorted out, we're going to get to work. And Craig Mason sent me. I said this, and he sent me this crazy text, long text. They broke most of the season. It's like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I'm so ready, man.
I could tell.
It's just
I see the excitement.
It's I really can't say much about it, but
of course not. I understand. Had to ask,
there's a lot of action in this
right.
in the second game. So
okay.
For those who were thirsting for action in the first season, even though we gave you a pretty heavy dose of it,
that's for sure.
I mean, just get ready. Just get ready for the second
Gabriel Luna, man, sat here with us today. I'm absolutely honored to have you, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being a true gentleman, and just easy to talk to, man. We're getting ready to sign off here, man.
Thank you, Jay.
I usually like to do a sign off here where I say I'm Jay Stash, and then I'll look over you and you say who you are. You ready to get the sign off?
Let's do it.
Where else but whatnot? Well, we have had the opportunity to hear today's signature story live from Fan Expo Dallas. You heard the passion, you heard the love, and I'm ready to sign off here. I'm Jay Stash.
I'm Gabriel Luna.
And we'll definitely catch you guys soon. Peace.
Adios.